Amidst a thunderous applause and ceremonial reception, the first 5 of 36 Rafale fighter jets landed at their home base at Ambala. But there isn't a moment of rest for the Omni-Role Air Supremacy Fighters team. Their task ahead will be to become operational very quickly, given the current standoff with China and the situation along the line of actual control. The operationalization schedule is expected to be compressed.
There are these war clouds hovering around Ladakh still. Both these sides are on hot standby. They are eyeball to eyeball. And therefore, Indian Air Force's aim will be to quickly compress the time frames for making the aircraft operational as quickly as possible. Mind you, the ISAR radar and the missile weapon package, it's a game changer. There is no other aircraft in the entire subcontinent which has got the kind of capabilities that this aircraft has got.
The Ambala Airbase, operational since 1919, was the mother base for the induction of both the Indian Air Force Jaguars and the upgraded MiG-21 Bisons and other fighters in the past. Infrastructure for 18 Rafale air supremacy fighters is coming up on a war footing at Ambala. Specific to Rafale, blast pens, weapons preparation areas, training and other related facilities are being set up at the Ambala Air Force Base.
अंबाला का हिस्ट्री यही है कि एक प्रीमियर बेस है इंडियन एयर फोर्स में और यहाँ से हम काफ़ी सिक्योर्ड एनवायरनमेंट से हम अपना काम कर सकेंगे. लड़ाई में तो है ही, पीस टाइम में भी ट्रेनिंग आराम से करा जा सकता है.
The pilots will soon be flying operation preparation sorties and integrating with the radars and AWACS and testing their weapon delivery skills. The Rafale pilots will also work on mixed formation missions and realistic war-like scenario operations. The task ahead includes network-centric missions along a wide range of operation areas. For the Rafale Air Supremacy Fighters team, there isn't a moment's time to rest. Their main task now is to become operational as quickly as possible. And this means flying a number of sorties in Indian environment with other fighter jets, with AWACS, getting integrated with the flying environment in India. This will take some time. Operational schedules, we are told, are getting compressed to ensure that the Rafales are available given the situation along the line of actual control. With Abhishek Bhalla in Ambala and with cameraman Kripal Singh in Leh, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
When you saw the image of those Rafales touching down, and it's an image that people are not going to forget in a hurry, it wasn't just an aircraft touching down on a runway. This was an Indian Rafale touching down on Indian soil for the first time. There's a lot of symbolism and a lot of significance to it, and I want to give you a perspective now as an India Today and a 5 Live viewer as to what it has taken for the country, for pilots in the Indian Air Force to arrive at that image you saw. Take a look. The Indian Rafales will soon be with the Indian Air Force on Indian soil. 5 jets are going to be part of the Indian Air Force on the 29th of July in Ambala. So many of you might be wondering, what's the big deal about this? So to understand that, we need to take you through a series of events, a few of which even shaped the electoral decision in the 2019 general elections. So now let's take you back to 2011, when the Indian Air Force first shortlisted the Rafale as a possible new addition to the Indian Air Force. Well, a year after that, in 2012, Dassault Aviation, which is the French company, comes with the lowest bid, making the Rafale the winner. So a deal was proposed for 126 jets, 18 out of which were to be bought off the shelf from France, and the remaining 108 were to be made by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, or HAL, in India. Now cut to March 2014, HAL and the French company Dassault agree on a work-share agreement for those 108 aircraft. This deal stated that 70% of the work in the manufacture of the Rafale would be by HAL and the other 30% of the manufacture would be conducted by Dassault. Mind you, this is all in the final leg of UPA-2. Then comes May 2014 and the Modi Sarkar storms to power. Arun Jaitley, the then defense minister, revealed that the Rafale deal will be closed very soon and 18 jets will be delivered in 3 to 4 years. In January 2015, though, the Rafale deal runs into very rough weather. Manohar Parrikar, who had taken charge as the defense minister by that time, conceded in public that there were very serious roadblocks and problems in negotiating the price for the purchase of these French fighters.
HAL के मैनोवर्स और फ्रेंच कंपनी के मैनोवर्स उसमें एक तालमेल नहीं हो रहा था, वो इशू सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा था। आपको भी मालूम है 2012 में तो प्राइस डिस्कवरी हुई थी और अभी 15 में 3 बरस उसके ऊपर केवल नेगोशिएशन चल रहे थे।
The turning point, though, comes 4 months later when Prime Minister Modi steps into the picture. In his first visit to France, a lot of major developments.
आज हम भारत और फ्रांस की रक्षा साझेदारी को एक नए स्तर पर ले गए।
First of all, a new memorandum of understanding is made with Dassault Aviation, where 36 Rafales, not 126, 36 Rafale fighters are to be bought in a flyaway condition directly from France.
हम दोनों ने निर्णय किया है कि भारत के लिए यह अलग प्रक्रिया में दिए गए टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन से और अच्छे टर्म्स पर होगा।
Now, after a lot of to and fro and ironing out some of those details, in September 2016, it's finally in the bag, and India signs an $8.9 billion deal for Rafale fighter jet.
रक्षा सहयोग के संदर्भ में 36 राफेल लड़ाकू विमानों की खरीद को लेकर यह खुशी की बात है कि दोनों पक्षों के बीच शेष इंटर गवर्नमेंटल एग्रीमेंट संपन्न हो गया है।
Now, as part of the offsets that were supposed to come into this deal, which involved Dassault Aviation plowing back a part of the investment into India to source some of the parts and to create jobs within the country, one of the offset contracts, it was announced, would go to Anil Ambani's Reliance Defense.
It was a very good deal. But it was a very good deal for the Prime Minister and his businessman friend. They have taken away jobs from HAL, the youngsters of Karnataka.
Congress has been misinformed, misdirected, and misled on the Rafale deal.
Another big controversy erupted 2 years later in September 2018 when French President François Hollande revealed that he had no choice in selecting the Indian offsets partner. He was practically dictated to do so. Who knew this would set off the political narrative very familiar to all of us of the 2019 general elections? Remember this?
Reality is that the Prime Minister is corrupt. Who decided to raise the price of the Rafale aircraft from 526 crores to 1600 crores?
चौकीदार जी ने चोरी करवाई।
मतलब इससे साफ करप्शन का केस हो ही नहीं सकता।
Well, the opposition charge, led chiefly by Rahul Gandhi's very loud "Chaukidar Chor Hai" jibe at Prime Minister Modi, even reached the doorsteps of the Supreme Court, seeking details of the Rafale deal and even recommending a CBI investigation. But in the background of all of this, in October 2018, the first Indian Air Force Rafale jet took off in France to begin flight test. Meanwhile, back home in India, a special inquiry into the deal with Reliance was done, and the Supreme Court cleared that and said that there were no irregularities in the deal.
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दो टूक शब्दों में कह दिया है ये कि ये बिल्कुल एक फेयर है डील जो हुई है।
You owe an apology to the country.
झूठ का सहारा लेने की एक नई राजनीति की शुरुआत की।
With the politics tentatively over, now it was time for the optics. In June 2019, Vice Chief of Air Staff RKS Bhadoria flew in a Rafale in a landmark moment.
My experience was really excellent because I got to know the depth and intensity to which this exercise was planned and executed. And I'm very happy to say that both teams have done wonderfully well.
And a few months later, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh arrived in Bordeaux, France for the handover of the first Indian Rafale jets.
इंडियन फोर्सेस के लिए सचमुच यह एक ऐतिहासिक दिन है। मुझे बताया गया है कि रफाल एक फ्रेंच शब्द है जिसका हिंदी में अर्थ होता है आंधी।
Looking at it from every single angle, the Rafale jets provide an evolutionary leap to Indian Air Force pilots and combat planners. Now, these aircraft will be combat ready when they arrive, but there will be a lead time before they are declared operational for any kind of deployment.